One man dead, his adult son missing after a canoe capsizes on Barrier Lake.
And the water is quite often glacier fed, so it's very cold.
The lone survivor, a mother, hospitalized with hypothermia. Plus, can Pierre Poilievre win the Battle River Crowfoot by-election?
I mean, his own riding in Ottawa, he wasn't representing them well. Otherwise, he would have gotten in.
He's not going to care what's going on in the constituency.
What kind of mandate will voters in this safe Conservative seat deliver? And union leaders risk jail time by defying Ottawa's back-to-work order. But are flight attendants starting to lose public sympathy?
I'm never booking with Air Canada again. That's all I have to say.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news tonight. A police officer shot a man who they say was armed this afternoon. They say it began as a domestic situation. Jacqueline Wilson joins us from the community of Yorkville, which is in the deep southwest of Calgary. A city bus also involved in this situation, Jackie.
Yes, Tara, it sure is. Their crime scene is just behind me. So right now, police officers have northbound Sheriff King Street blocked off for that crime scene. It's just south of 194th Avenue, as you were mentioning. So inside of this crime scene tape, there is that city bus, as well as some belongings that you might be able to see just over my shoulder. And actually, over the last several hours, they've been putting bagged items into that as evidence. And around 5 o'clock, I actually saw them put a large knife inside of one of those evidence bags. Now, police say that at approximately 12:55 p.m., officers were called to the 300 block of Yorkville Road, which is just a couple blocks from here, for reports of a 911 hang-up call. And that's believed to be connected to a domestic incident involving a weapon. They say a man left the house, and when officers found him, a confrontation happened. Police say that they attempted to de-escalate the scenario, but an officer ended up shooting the man. He does have non-life-threatening injuries, and no officers or other people were injured in this incident. The deputy chief was asked this afternoon about how that bus is involved in this incident and whether or not that man was on it or not, and was his response.
I don't know. What I would say, though, is that clearly there were other people from the community that may have witnessed something, and we'd certainly encourage those people to come forward, not just to come forward with information, but to come forward, because seeing something like this can obviously be traumatic, and we care about how they're feeling, and we want to be able to help them if we can.
And the deputy police chief has told us that ACERT is going to investigate this shooting, which is normal for when an officer discharges their firearm. Back to you.
Okay, Jackie, thank you. A canoe trip in Kananaskis has ended tragically for a son and his parents. One man is dead, and the search continues for another man presumed to have drowned. Jordan Canagan is at Barrier Lake with more. And Jordan, emergency officials have been there all day.
Tara, RCMP and conservation officers searching here at Barrier Lake all day for a man who has been missing since the canoe he was in capsized over the weekend. The man's father is dead. His mother is in hospital in Calgary. The wind and cold water said to have played factors in this tragedy. The RCMP's underwater search team launches into Barrier Lake Monday as they look for a Calgary man believed to have drowned on Saturday. Officials say the 30-year-old son was on a canoe trip with his parents who were visiting from China.
Late afternoon this past Saturday, 3 adults were canoeing here on Barrier Lake in Kananaskis. Strong winds came up, causing large waves, which unfortunately capsized the canoe.
Boats are being used to inspect the shore, and sonar is searching the middle of the lake in Kananaskis.
Unfortunately, the father has deceased as well. His body was recovered at the time of the incident. The mother was taken to hospital in Calgary for treatment for hypothermia.
RCMP say foul play is not suspected. Signs at the lake warn of the dangers of the cold water and urge life jackets at all times.
So sudden immersion in cold water, right, that can cause rapid muscle weakness, uncontrollable breathing, loss of coordination. And at that point, even if you're a very strong swimmer, it makes self-rescue almost impossible.
The foothills region in Kananaskis and the national parks is very unpredictable. So the weather can change very quickly with rain, cold weather, high winds. So people need to be prepared for all types of weather and quick changes.
Now, RCMP say they are taking this investigation and search day by day, and if the man's body isn't recovered immediately, they wouldn't say exactly how long they will continue this active investigation at the lake for. Tara?
All right, Jordan Canigan reporting. Jordan, thank you. There was a fiery crash on Highway 1 east of Calgary this afternoon. RCMP tell us a semi collided with an SUV near Strathmore around 2:30 this afternoon. There was a fire and thick smoke at the crash scene. Firefighters, Mounties, and paramedics all responded to that crash. There is no word yet on injuries. Calgary police believe speed was a factor in a crash on Deerfoot Trail Sunday that seriously injured 2 men. A Shelby Cobra ran into a road construction sign on Deerfoot Trail. The temporary sign was set up at the intersection at Seton Boulevard Southeast. The sports car then hit a cable fence and slammed into a concrete wall. The driver, a man in his 50s, and his passenger, a man in his 30s, both suffered serious injuries. Police say one of them was ejected from the car. It is federal by-election night in central Alberta. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre wants to claim the Battle River Crowfoot riding and return to the House of Commons. Tyler Barrow is in Camrose tonight at the site where Poilievre hopes to celebrate his victory with supporters tonight. So, Tyler, what is the general feeling in the riding about Poilievre's candidacy?
Tara, polls opened at 8:30 this morning, and voters are coming to grips with the realization Pierre Poilievre is likely going to win. Now, this should come as no shock, as the riding was chosen as a safe Conservative seat. Now, for people in the area, some are excited at the idea of having the Conservative leader represent them. Others aren't so sure. Camrose is more than 3,000 kilometers to Ottawa, but for Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, the road back to Parliament runs through here in the Battle River Crowfoot riding. Voters have mixed feelings on Poilievre representing them.
He was born in Alberta, so anyways, I hope he does good for Alberta.
He's a good leader, and
He's more concerned about his own rear end being in Parliament down in Ottawa.
Poilievre is expected to win tonight's Conservative riding, one chosen to get him back into the House of Commons after losing his seat in the Carleton riding in the spring general election. How much he wins by is another story. The former MP, Damien Currick, who stepped aside for Poilievre to run, won with 83% of the vote.
The margin of victory will still be quite large, I would expect, for Mr. Poilievre.
Poilievre is one of 214 candidates on the ballot. Most candidates are with the Longest Ballot Committee, a protest group calling for electoral reform. Many also ran in Poilievre's former Carleton riding.
Our system favors politicians and that they are in charge of their own election rules, and we believe it is a conflict of interest.
Elections Canada says more than 14,000 people voted in advance polls, and for the first time, voters will write out the name of their preferred candidate. Bonnie Critchley, not part of the Longest Ballot Committee, is running as an independent. She was satisfied with the MP voted in during the general election. She's running because she doesn't think Pierre Poilievre will stand up for the area.
We're living hand-to-mouth, paycheck to paycheck, and we're having to deal with this. So, no, we're unimpressed.
As some here know, the Conservative leader has bigger battles than Battle River Crowfoot.
It's such a strong Conservative base here, then they might be looking at a leadership review.
Now, Tara, polls tonight close at 8:30. Elections Canada will start counting ballots from the advanced polls here shortly to ensure results become available as soon as possible. CTV News will be following this by-election throughout the night.
Okay, Tyler, thank you. Breaking news from Air Canada tonight. The airline says it won't negotiate with flight attendants until flights resume. Air Canada flight attendants continue to defy a back-to-work order. They return to the picket lines, including here in Calgary, but passengers are starting to feel frustrated by the ongoing saga. Tyson Fedor reports.
Carly Boylan and her friends spent the weekend at Country Thunder. The two are from Nanaimo, and returning home has not been easy.
I'm never booking with Air Canada again. That's all I have to say.
Air Canada and its flight attendants remain at odds over what fair pay and unpaid work looks like.
We have an overall total compensation proposal of roughly 40% over 4 years. And we think that is excellent.
The union representing the workers issued a strike notice Saturday. They remained on strike Monday with hundreds of more flights canceled.
Because the Air Canada was not operating, so they booked us with the Lufthansa.
But it's so sad that, like, your own country, you can go with your own flight and everything, and you have to go with an international airlines.
A federal return-to-work order came shortly after, but the workers are defying it.
They're risking a lot by doing this.
One labor studies expert calls a defiance by flight attendants unusual and risky.
The Industrial Relations Board has the ability to levy significant fines against the union, and ultimately they have the ability to, there's the possibility that the leaders could go to jail.
If it means folks like me going to jail, then so be it.
An air passenger rights advocate says passengers should wait first until Air Canada cancels their flight, then ask the airline to book them with a competitor. International travelers may receive more compensation due to different air travel laws.
If you're departing from the European Union to Canada, then Air Canada owes you meals, accommodation, and up to 600 euros, or from the UK, 520 British pounds per passenger lump sum compensation on top of your alternate transportation.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister is hoping to see a speedy resolution.
We are in a situation where literally hundreds of thousands of Canadians and visitors to our country are being disrupted.
And Tyson joins us from the airport tonight. So Tyson, let's talk about these new developments tonight. Air Canada saying it's not going to negotiate until flights resume.
Well, if negotiations want to continue from the flight attendant side, they must get back to work. That's what Air Canada is saying tonight, Tara, and they want those negotiations to move forward, but they can't do so while the planes are grounded, and that includes here at Calgary International Airport. So at this point, the airline's saying today that they really want to work on this deal, but they can't do so when flights across the country and across the globe are canceled and not in the air. Now, the union says it is adamant that it will not end this unlawful strike at this time and would rather negotiate at the bargaining table. Tara, I can tell you that more than 500,000 customers' flights with Air Canada have since been canceled since this strike started.
Okay, Tyson Fedor at the airport tonight. Tyson, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
An Edmonton homeowner believes a hot air balloon may have hit her house this morning. Eliza Lyons says the loud noises woke her up. A short time later, she came across this post in a neighborhood group chat. She was surprised to see a photo of a hot air balloon that appears to be touching the roof of her house.
I was like, did that wreck the roof? It was just like unbelievable. I'm like, how can that balloon go so low? Like where all the trees are and the ponds, like, you know? It's amazing, but it's on top of my roof.
The company tells CTV News its hot air balloon did not land on or make any contact with homes when coming in for a landing. They also say photos can be deceiving, that although a balloon might appear to be touching something, in reality it is not. Well, Daniela's outside, joins us now. Quite a lovely evening out there.
Yeah, what an evening for a hot air balloon ride that doesn't get close to any homes, right, Tara? Yeah, it's stunning out here, and hopefully you can get out and enjoy it. The winds are, a little breezy at times, but it's quite nice. The clouds have cleared out, and they will stay out for the rest of today. It's a quiet day, high of 24, also our current temperature at the airport. Tomorrow, even a little warmer at 27 degrees. Now, we did have a good amount of cloud cover today. We should see a little less cloud cover and a little more sunshine out there for tomorrow. More weather details coming up, Tara.
Thanks, Danielle. Ukraine's president and European leaders head to Washington. How soon is a face-to-face with Putin possible to put an end to this war? And nearly a month after closing, the Saskatoon farm opens back up for dining. The changes being demanded by AHS are next. And if you have a news tip for us anytime, text us at 10400. Some of the most powerful leaders in the world went to the White House today to talk to the U.S. president about peace for Ukraine. The group is a buffer for Volodymyr Zelensky, who also had a high-stakes meeting with Donald Trump, his first since that disastrous dressing down earlier this year. Here's Judy Trin on what was said and what the Ukrainian president came away with.
The Ukrainian president arrived at the White House dressed in a black suit instead of his usual military uniform. Donald Trump took notice.
First of all, Mr. President Zelensky, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Volodymyr Zelensky also made sure he voiced his appreciation for the president's effort to end Russia's war on Ukraine.
Thank you very much for your efforts.
personal efforts to stop killings and stop this war.
But the devil is in the details, and Zelensky wants to make sure the plan Trump discussed with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska will respect Ukraine's sovereignty. Speaking with reporters, Trump said a deal can be worked out without a ceasefire.
We can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight. I wish they could stop. I'd like them to stop. But strategically, that could be a disadvantage for one side or the other.
On social media, Trump said on Sunday that Zelensky can end the war if it gives up Crimea and membership in NATO. Russia took over Crimea in 2014, and after 3.5 years of war, it controls almost all of the Donbas region in southeast Ukraine. Putin wants Ukraine to give up territory as a condition for peace.
When we talk about security, we're talking about the security not just of Ukraine, we're talking about the security of Europe.
To prevent Ukraine's interests from being subverted in a deal brokered by the U.S. and Russia, 7 European leaders from Britain, France, Germany, Italy, Finland, the European Union, and NATO's Secretary General traveled to Washington to stand with Zelensky to warn against trusting Putin and fight for security guarantees.
We're going to try and get a 3-party meeting, maybe as soon as we can.
Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
When it comes to security guarantees, Trump did not rule out sending American troops, but said Europe is the first line of defense.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in now as we look ahead to our 5-day forecast.
Yeah, and it's looking pretty fantastic, I'll say. We have lots of warmth in the forecast. It's more summer-like than what we've had for the last, I would say, month and a half, longer term for sure. And you can see the heat has been building off into the southeast corner, absolutely. Today, 30 in Milk River, right now 31 in Medicine Hat, 24 in Calgary. So the further southeast you go, the warmer it is at the moment. When we look at the radar and satellite, there's a couple things going on. So the mountains are really eating all of this moisture up. So we have had some cloud cover make its way over into southern Alberta, but not much other than that. And that will be the story for the rest of today and through much of tomorrow as well for most communities. All that really active weather, because we have high pressure dominating, is being redirected up and around us. So for central Alberta, some parts of central Alberta, under severe thunderstorm watch, and that really goes for Rocky Mountain House into Wetaskiwin and over to Provost. And just north of Rocky Mountain House, there is a more severe cell that's producing that larger size hail. So that's what's happening up there. Down here, it's mainly bright at this point. We do have some cloudy periods at times. The winds are relatively calm for southern Alberta today, and that's really the stories we head into tomorrow as well. In fact, we'll likely see a little more sunshine in the city tomorrow in comparison to what we had today, which will likely make our temperatures climb that little bit higher as well. So hot day. The next time we're looking at some rainfall possible and even a small chance of a thunderstorm is later on Wednesday. So anything after 2 in the afternoon on Wednesday is when we get into the chance of that in the city, up the QE2, down Highway 2 and off to the west. And then later in the day, closer to the supper hours on Wednesday, Brooks and Hannah, Oy and Coronation could see some thunderstorm activity from this. So Wednesday in the afternoon looks like a bit of a different day, but for tomorrow, it's stable overall for all of southern Alberta, Calgary included in that. And again, we'll see a little more sunshine out there tomorrow, which will allow our temperature to climb to 27 degrees as our daytime high. Now, Wednesday, we won't quite be as warm because we won't get as much sunshine, and we'll likely see those showers in the earlier afternoon hours. Again, it could start as early as 2. So 19, maybe 20 degrees for Wednesday with a good chance of showers after 2 in the afternoon. We'll bounce back into the 20s for Thursday and Friday. So we're looking at 22. But for the weekend, we're looking at mid-20s on Saturday. And in fact, by Sunday, we'll be in those high 20s once again. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. Tara?
Alberta Health Services has lifted the closure order at the Saskatoon farm. It was implemented July 23rd after dozens of people who dined at the facility became ill. As of Thursday, there were 107 probable cases of E. coli. In a Facebook post, the Saskatoon farm said the bakery opened Saturday, the restaurant opens today, and the Red House later this week. They are still required to use bagged ice, and all water used for cooking, baking, hand washing, and any prep work is from a potable water source that has been approved by AHS. Still to come, a Calgary breakthrough, the new system that aims to give a voice to those with nonverbal autism. We'll meet the professor who's leading the research and his son who's testing the equipment. And the hit song that features Saskatchewan as the place to go and has now turned into a tourism campaign. Doctors are seeing a growing number of non-smokers with lung cancer. The Canadian Cancer Society estimates a quarter of people living with lung cancer never smoked. The society says exposure to radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer among non-smokers. Health Canada says the gas is present to some degree in every home and urges Canadians to check their levels with a radon test kit. Secondhand smoke and air pollution are other risk factors. Experts say it's important to consider lung cancer when non-smokers have a cough that won't go away, but advanced molecular testing and immunotherapy often make targeted treatment possible. Close to a third of people on the autism spectrum are nonverbal. A Calgary father's teenage son is one of them. He was frustrated that technology isn't being used in a viable way to help his son communicate. So he worked with the School of Engineering on a solution. Kevin Fleming reports.
He's watching a video of a participant using a virtual headset to type out words from letters seen in a digital world. Diwakar Krishnamurtha is a professor at the Schulich School of Engineering and came up with the system.
My son is non-speaking, when he was diagnosed, we were given the doom and gloom dire scenario. But actually, we discovered that he's quite a smart guy with a lot of innermost thoughts to convey.
It's those thoughts that Krishnamurtha wants to unlock for his son and other families dealing with similar situations. Manaf Abu Farf says he spent thousands of dollars on speech therapists for his 16-year-old daughter with poor results. And when asked how it feels to communicate now, she said she was trapped inside for 16 years.
So actually for us, we are discovering our daughter. We are having our daughter for the first time. We are seeing our daughter for the first time. That's a huge turnover for us as a family and for Jenna as a person.
Travis Dow has traveled the country working with nonverbal participants for the project and says the system can include a virtual therapist to help them communicate successfully.
If you're dealing with hardware, it's, you get it as is, you buy it in the store, you make it yourself, whatever the case is. But with software, we can change so much. We can really, make it bespoke to each individual person. And that's, that can be really huge for these people.
Now Abu Farf says the world is opening up for his daughter, and Jana likes it.
What does that mean for you using this technology? She said it opens doors for me. And when we asked her which doors you are talking about, she said the door of university. She is dreaming to go to a university. And we asked her, what do you like? And she said, I like maths.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
The team says it's now looking at securing government funding to make the VR goggle system available to those who need it. Hundreds of families won't have to worry about school supplies ahead of the first bell of the year. The Owen Hart Foundation is teaming up with the Calgary Police Youth Foundation to give out hundreds of backpacks at St. Martha School today. The backpacks will help kids who might not be able to afford supplies and could feel behind at the start of the school year.
For them to kind of have that sense of equality with everybody else, and it's probably, as a parent, you would feel just great knowing that my son or daughter had the supplies to go forward.
The parents are grateful, the students are grateful, the teachers and principals are really grateful that we come out and support them.
About 900 backpacks were given out today. The Owen Hart Foundation expects to hand out over 2,000 this year. Well, how long does it take your kids to get dressed in the morning? Maybe you should show them this, the fastest T-shirt putter-oner in the world. Canadian province is reaping the rewards of a popular pop song. It's been weeks since American singer Chappell Roan released a song with Saskatchewan in the lyrics. And since then, it has influenced tourism campaigns and generated a big conversation online. Here's Alison Bamford.
These 4 words in a breakup ballad put Saskatchewan on the map.
This is the kind of thing that you'd have to spend millions of dollars to be able to create this kind of awareness.
American pop singer Chappell Roan released her latest single, The Subway, late last month, prompting a spike in Google searches with the word Saskatchewan.
It's an opportunity to be playful and just have a good time and not take ourselves too seriously, and we love opportunities like that.
Tourism groups are leveraging the spotlight with their own campaigns. Travel marketing experts say it's not uncommon for pop culture to influence tourist destinations.
The performing arts, they have an emotional connect with us. And travel is a very emotional thing, right? When you think about the reasons why, especially for leisure travel, why you go pick certain destinations over others, it's because you have some type of connection that you feel.
As for the Pink Pony Club singer's connection to the lyric,
it rhymed.
She shared her feelings towards the province in a recent interview with Apple Music's Zane Lowe.
I've never been there, but I promise I will perform there one day.
I don't know that I could afford Chappell Roan tickets in this economy, but I sure would have to figure out a way to do that because that sounds awesome.
Hype around one potential concert that could lead to many more visitors exploring the province. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Okay, you guys, so all this buzz about Saskatchewan has even made its way into one of Jimmy Fallon's late-night talk show bits.
I don't see what the big deal is, because there's actually a bunch of other songs that mention Saskatchewan, but they're not getting any press. Really? Well, like this one here.
It's a party in Saskatchewan.
You know, see what I mean? I mean, also, like this one too.
If you see a faded sign at the side of the road that says 15 miles to Saskatchewan.
You know what I'm saying? That never get any press pickup at all. No press pickup. This one too.
If you're lost, then you will find me. Saskatchewan.
Yeah, you know that one?
I don't remember that being part of the Cyndi Lauper song. I don't remember.
Saskatchewan's loving it.
That's good, though. It's their time, you guys. Well, there's a world record for almost everything these days, including one for doing this. Who knew? This guy's just been crowned the fastest shirt putter-oner. He was able to put on 20 T-shirts in 30 seconds.
I could beat him on that one.
You think
Could
you?
you?
Could
Yeah.
your kids?
Yeah.
The question is why?
Well, that's what I wondered. But here's why. Because he likes to just be the best at everything. So his name is David Rush. He's known as the record breaker. He actually has over 300 Guinness World Records, which is also a record. Right. He just likes to try stuff and be the best at it.
He's record man.
He's extremely competitive.
He is fast. Give it to him. Okay?
I don't know why you need that skill, but there you go. Cotton candy is a kid favorite, and this little one cannot get enough. That's one way to do it. I mean, why wrap it around the stick when you can just have it blown straight at your face and into your mouth?
Great day. Best day ever.
This makes sense to me. I mean, you're cutting out the middleman. It's like, just blow it right into my mouth.
Yep.
She'll
there
be
you go.
best friends with a lot of other kids.
Her eyes are going to be stuck closed, but whatever. You just eat your way out. You eat your way out.
Good. Yeah, exactly.
Delicious. Still to come, buying a home comes with a lot of questions. The first might be whether to invest in a new build or go with an older home. We'll take a look at the pros and cons next.
All right, your Skywatch weather cam. What a stunning day today. We had a good amount of cloud cover earlier today. I was at Callaway Park earlier today, and the clouds actually helped. A little bit of a breeze as well. It wasn't too hot out there when you wait for the rides. And then the sky's completely cleared, and so we have nothing but sun right now, and we've climbed up to 24 degrees. And when you compare us to the rest of the country, 26 in Edmonton, 27 in Regina, it's kind of the warm pocket when you compare it to what's going on, for example, out to the east. We're in those low 20s, and off to the west, Victoria just sitting at 18 as a daytime high for today. Okay, radar and satellite, all that active weather is tracking up into central Alberta. That's where they have the severe thunderstorm watches and warnings going on. The warning is north of Rocky Mountain House. To the south, though, it's stable, it's quiet. Your Action Furnace forecast, fix right or it's free. 14 degrees for the morning hours. We're looking at a little more sunshine expected throughout the day tomorrow compared to what we had today, and that's what will help us climb up to 27, so a few degrees warmer for tomorrow in the city. 28 degrees for Kamloops tomorrow, 27 for Kelowna, 26 for Edmonton. That active weather should be mainly Rocky Mountain House and north of Edmonton. And for us in the south, we're looking at sunshine with cloudy periods, and as you can see, many communities cracking that 30-degree mark even further. 34 for Medicine Hat with a whole lot of sunshine for tomorrow. The winds should be calm as well. When we look at that 10-day trend, we have a hot day for tomorrow in the city, then cool for Wednesday with afternoon showers, back into those lower 20s for Thursday and Friday, and then we start to get into a much longer warming trend, some hot temperatures for the weekend and next week. Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Calgary police shot and injured a man in a southwest neighborhood this afternoon. Police say the incident started as a domestic and the shooting happened when officers found a suspect in Yorkville. The man's injuries are not life-threatening. A Calgary man is presumed drowned. His father, visiting from China, is dead, and his mother is in hospital after their canoe capsized on Barrier Lake in Kananaskis country. And polls close at 8:30 p.m. tonight in the by-election in Battle River Crowfoot. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is trying to regain a seat in the House of Commons. Canada's home building is picking up, but not fast enough, according to a national housing agency. CTV's Maria Saru reports from PEI, a province punching above its weight, but still struggling through the crunch.
Homes are taking shape across Charlottetown, construction crews working hard. For its size, PEI is building at roughly double the national rate, according to the newest numbers.
We're small, but we're very resilient. We like to get things done.
But like other provinces, the island can't keep up with demand or the pace needed to restore pre-pandemic affordability by 2035, according to the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. In July, Canada's home building was 4% faster than in June, at about 294,000 homes per year. But that's still far from the CMHC's affordability benchmark of 430,000 to 480,000 home starts per year. This home I'm standing in is a work in progress, greenlit well before today. One of the reasons for the building bump is that pre-planned projects like this one are going ahead. But the National Housing Agency says that doesn't reflect current investor appetite. In fact, the CMHC is projecting a slowdown later this year.
We've been in a context where the economy has been quite uncertain. We've been facing geopolitical uncertainty as well.
While tariffs and higher costs are making homes harder to finance, the Construction Association of PEI's executive director says there are bigger challenges.
Shortage of skilled people will continue to be a problem, in the years to come.
So builders here say they need more help to turn frames into finished homes. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
When looking at buying a home, deciding to go new or old can be a tough choice. As CTV's Nicole Weisberg reports, there are pros and cons to both.
The day is finally here. Congratulations!
It's possession day for 25-year-old Brooke Chung. She's the new owner of this Sherwood Park townhome. Chung came to Canada from Vietnam in 2018, first living in the Vancouver area.
One apartment condo in that Brentwood area in like the 40 floor 45. They listing the price of $1 million. And at that point, I was like, I'm out.
Like many others, affordability drew her to Alberta. Buying a home that was move-in ready was important to her. Chung's realtor says when helping potential buyers, he likes to show them a mix of new and old homes in their price range.
And then we narrow down specifically after they've seen a bunch, because they might have had it set in their mind that they want an older home. But when they see the spaces are constricted, the living spaces, everything's going to need modernization, then sometimes newer homes become their choice.
New homes are also covered by warranty, something mandated by Alberta law.
That's one big advantage of buying a new home, is that you have peace of mind for at least 10 years.
The 10-year coverage is just for structural issues. Other parts of your home are mandated to be covered for a shorter period. Under the new home warranty program, the building envelope, which includes the roof and wall framing, is covered for 5 years. Your heating, electrical, and plumbing is covered for 2 years, and defects in labor and materials, such as flooring, paint, cabinets, and countertops, are covered for 1 year.
I've seen cases where the developer says, don't call the warranty, don't worry about it, I'll fix it. And that can often leave the homeowner in a pickle.
Lawyer Michael Bocut handles a lot of residential construction disputes. He recommends reporting issues with new homes to both the builder and the new home warranty program right away to ensure the timeline on the warranty doesn't run out.
For the new homes, you have like more mysteries. Like you don't know why something is going wrong and you're having to sort of be the one to fix it. And when you have an older home, somebody else has already gone through that.
For any home already built, he says getting a thorough inspection is vital, which may include bringing in experts beyond just a home inspector, such as an electrician or structural engineer.
It's a few $1,000s at most. Well, if your house is $500,000, that's the best money you can imagine spending.
For homes yet to be constructed, he says do your homework on the developer. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The number of Air Canada flights being cancelled is growing. So is the cost of this strike. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez.
Analysts are crunching the numbers and estimate the strike could cost Air Canada $200 million, even if the action ends this week. That estimate coming from Canaccord Genuity. The strike has led Air Canada to suspend its financial forecast for 2025. The company had predicted it would make between $3.2 and $3.6 billion in 2025. Now, shares in Air Canada dropped today by almost 3%. Here's how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar is slightly up today to 72.44. West Texas Intermediate moved up to 63.42. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it down to 50.33. And not a lot of movement on the TSX. It dropped 17 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
The federal government gave an update on Canada's wildfire season today. It warns above-average seasonal temperatures will persist over the next 3 months for most of the country, increasing the wildfire risk. There's more than 700 wildfires currently burning in Canada, with 68 considered out of control. The national wildland fire preparedness level is sitting at 5, meaning there's firefighters and equipment being used in every province and territory. Large swaths of BC and the Prairie provinces are expected to be drier and hotter than normal. Most of the land burned this wildfire season has been in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. The Alberta government is looking at installing solar panels at 5 correctional facilities in the province. The infrastructure ministry says solar power could save taxpayers $1 million a year. A procurement document published by the province says the budget is anywhere from $10 to $50 million. The province plans to start accepting bids to build the solar arrays later this year or in early 2026. Team Canada is getting ready for a big rugby game against the U.S. this week, and a Calgarian is pretty excited to be playing in his hometown in the World Cup qualifier. Glenn has that story for us next.
It's so very cool. I think it's just so real, right? Like to go, this was their home. This was the floorboards of their home.
University of Calgary archaeologists are unearthing more history at the John Ware Ranch. They found remains of the home where he lived with his wife, Mildred, between 1888 and 1902. They discovered floorboards, a cellar, square nails, and an ink bottle. Ware is known as Alberta's first black cowboy. Next year, archaeologists plan to fully expose the structure and see how it was built. Canada and the United States have many rivalries in many sports. Glenn is back with us, but Glenn, you can certainly count rugby among them.
Tara, there's no doubt U.S. is Canada's biggest rival in that sport. And those two teams, they're going to face each other on Friday night at McMahon Stadium. Ben Lesage was born and raised in Calgary. He played rugby at Dr. E.P. Scarlett. Coming back to his hometown for such a big game is special to the 29-year-old.
To get to show the city to the guys has been awesome. So we've been working really hard, but have had a bit of time to explore. So we've gotten out to the mountains. We've sort of explored a lot of the city, and I think it'd be extra special to get out there at McMahon on Friday night and take the field in front of so many sort of friends and family who have supported me along the way.
Lesage has been on Canada's national team since 2016. Canada qualified for the World Cup in Japan in 2019, and Lesage says there's nothing quite like it.
And that was sort of like by far the coolest rugby experience I've been a part of. So I think I'm like motivated to get back there selfishly, but also we've got a young team now. We want to sort of show them the ropes. We want to sort of bring this younger generation of Canadian rugby players to another World Cup.
Lesage has also seen the bad. He was with the team that failed to qualify in 2023. He says Canada can use that as a motivation to get back to the World Cup in Australia in 2027.
I think we've come back now. We're the scrappy team at the table. We've got sort of that underdog mentality where we're definitely not favorites going into some of these Pacific Nations matches, but we hope that between games being at home and between sort of some of that chip on our shoulder mentality going in, that we can sort of leverage that to get back there.
It's a new era for Canadian rugby. Steve Meehan takes over as the head coach. Friday's game doesn't guarantee you a spot in the World Cup. It's the first round of the Pacific Nations Cup.
Everybody knows how important this game is. You know, win this game, you know, you put yourself in a strong position in the PNC. Winning this game doesn't guarantee you qualification in the Rugby World Cup, and that's something that everyone needs to be aware of. But as I say, it does put you in a good position.
And kickoff for Friday night's game, 7 o'clock at McMahon Stadium. Cavalry FC won a thriller of a soccer game at Spruce Meadows last night.
Moosey, near side, miss hit. Attack still on, headed up inside. Klopp's there. Irving can't get to it in time. Dan Klopp, the header. Unbelievable. What is happening here in Calgary?
Dan Klopp scored the winner in a 5-4 victory over Vancouver FC with seconds left in the game. It was a storybook ending for Klopp, who just rejoined the team after leaving last year to join a Belgium club. Cavalry travels to Ottawa on Saturday.
And the Surge head down the Vancouver Bandits in the most dramatic of fashions.
And the Calgary Surge advanced to the Western Conference Final after a 105-103 victory over the Vancouver Bandits on Saturday. Evan Gilliard was shooting behind the three-point arc when he was fouled. He then made all three free throws. That's how you say it, right? To secure the win, the Surge play the Winnipeg Sea Bears on Friday night. The winner advances to the CEBL Final against the winner of the Eastern Final between the Scarborough Shooting Stars and the defending champs, the Niagara River Lions. I want to say that 3 times.
I challenge anyone to say 3 free throws.
Three times in a row.
Throws.
Just do it.
No.
Yeah. You just did it. You just did it.
That's a tongue twister, though. All right, final word to Danielle.
Okay, yeah. We got a little more sunshine in the forecast for tomorrow compared to today. So temperatures will get a little higher compared to today. Today's high so far was 24. We're looking at a high of 27 for tomorrow. It's quiet weather for the rest of tonight. Quiet weather and through tomorrow. A little less quiet Wednesday afternoon when a few showers are possible after 2 in the afternoon, and cooler by that point. It's a one-day dip, and then we start to climb. And this will be a long-term stretch of sunshine and heat, mid-20s by the weekend, high 20s for much of next week, actually. So if you're wondering, what do I do with high 20s? This would be a great idea. Ron Jeffrey has the best idea. Either you do this or you watch. Weather Window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate.
Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.